Forgetful living entities. An essential subject from Vinipedia. Living entity is as pure as the limitless sky. He becomes covered by the cloud of forgetfulness, however, in his tendency for enjoying the material world. Because of this quality, called Thomas ignorance, he considers himself different from the absolute whole and forgets his purity, which is like that of the clear sky. This forgetfulness gives rise to separatism in false ego. Thus the forgetful living entities, individually and collectively, make sounds like thundering clouds. I am this, it is ours, or it is mine. This mood of false separatism is called the quality of Ras, and it gives rise to a creative force for separate lordship over the mode of Thomas. The flash of lightning is the only beam of hope that can lead one to the path of knowledge, and therefore it is compared to the mode of sattva, or goodness. Srila Prabhupada's books, lectures, conversations and letters offer a comprehensive presentation of this essential subject as seen in the Vinicote's Forgetful Living Entities category. An introduction from his books is given below in the following 8 quotes. Quotes from Srila Prabhupada's books. Forgetfulness of one's relationship with Lord Vivu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of one's repeated birth and death. A living entity is as eternal as the Supreme Lord, but due to his forgetfulness he is put into this material nature and transmigrates from one body to another, and when the body is destroyed, he thinks that he is also destroyed. Actually, this forgetfulness of his relationship with Lord Vivu is the cause of his destruction. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29. 39. The deer runs after water in the desert with full speed, and the illusion of water moves ahead at the same speed as the foolish deer. Water is not false, but we must not seek it in the desert. A living entity, by his past experience, remembers the real happiness of his original, spiritual existence, but since he has forgotten himself he seeks spiritual or permanent happiness in matter, although this is impossible to achieve. Light of the Bhagavata, Chapter 8. This argument offered by Maharya Raga is certainly very effective. In his Bhakti Rasamta Sindhu 1.2.4, RLAR Pagazvam says, Tasam Tikan Pyapina Manakainai Vyat. SB 7.1.32. Somehow or other, one should engage in Krishna consciousness. Actually every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna, but due to forgetfulness, a living entity engages himself as an eternal servant of MY. As long as one is engaged in MY's service, he cannot be happy. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1. 32. The great sage Anrada thought it fitting that, although the brothers would be punished to become trees, by his mercy they would continue to keep their memory and be able to know why they were being punished. After changing the body, a living entity generally forgets his previous life, but in special cases, by the grace of the Lord, as with Nilakvara and Mahagurva, one can remember. Krishna Book, Chapter 10. Thus the living entity's feeling of security in this life in the midst of society, wife and friendship is nothing but illusion. All living entities engaged in various material bodies are illusioned by the present activities of material enjoyment. They forget their real business, which is to go back home, back to Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.25. 55. Although this Avdhyakti, material energy, or nescience, is also an energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is especially intended to keep the living entities in a state of forgetfulness. This is due to their rebellious attitude toward the Lord. Thus although the living entities are constitutionally spiritual, they come under the influence of the potency of nescience. How this happens is described in the following verse. Kaitanya Karatam Ta, Madhya LL 6.154. Any living entity who forgets his eternal relationship with Krishna is under the sway of the material condition. Bereft of the Lord's transcendental loving service, he is subjected to the reactions of fruitive activity. When he is elevated to the higher planetary systems due to worldly pious activities, he considers himself well situated, but when he is subjected to punishment, he thinks himself improperly situated. Kaitanya Karatam Ta, Madhya LL 20.118. In the Bhagavad Gita these separate positions of the Jaivatiyam and the Paramtiyam are specifically mentioned. In the 4th chapter, Arjuna, the Jaiva soul, is represented as forgetful of his many previous births, but the Lord, the Super Soul, is not forgetful. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.109.